This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so happy Monday. Today is Monday, May 11th. And as always, everything that we talk about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So I hope all the mothers out there had a wonderful Mother's Day. But we are getting into our trading, and it's not a terrible pre-market for a Monday at all. So first thing I'm going to be looking at is this AMC. Now, the first thing that I want to let everybody know is that depending on your level, right now, we could already see what the personality is going to be. There's going to be a ton of prints that comes into this. So even though it's a cheaper stock, it's not going to be the easiest read. We can see as we came in, okay, the first thing that we want to realize is that we have a ton of buying that came in over that 7 level, but as we can see almost immediately afterwards, we're getting a lot of selling that's coming back down towards that 7 level, as well as coming back underneath the 7. So basically what that tells us is that people are going to be taking profit. We understand that. So these riders are going to make the stock pull back. We have this print line here, 59,000 shares, which really for 9.1 million shares is not that much. So far it has been respecting it. So, we definitely have to keep that in mind, but just keep, the amount of prints that we see coming into it's really not that big compared to what we actually see going on out there. So I am expecting this thing to pull back down under, a pretty substantial amount. We're talking about almost down towards that 6 level, but overall we definitely do have the buying that's above that 7 for us to be able to take a trigger once we do find where that bottom is going to be, a trigger back towards that upside. With it's going to have to be a lot of volume to push back up to get us towards this double top. We have enough buying up above that 7 level to actually break past that 750. So once again, this is not going to be an easy read because there's so much volume that's going to be into it. So the story is going to get very thick very quickly, even though that it's a cliff note type stock. So just something that you definitely do want to keep in mind. But once again, based off of the buying that we do have up above that 7, we can easily break past the 750. Just remember, 750 is a big psychological level, especially on a cheaper stock like this. We're going to have to look, the major levels, obviously 5, 750, and then, coming back up towards that 10. But we don't even have to worry about that yet. Right now, what we have to worry about is being able to break past the 750, getting the actual buying to, the jackhammer prints coming up to that 750 to be able to break past there. But once again, it does have that selling coming in, but we don't have to worry about the selling as much because of the fact that it's up a huge amount. So really what we're looking for is that new buying, but we also have to pay attention. Once we do get that new buying, if we start to see riders coming in just like we have, we're going to take, a pretty substantial drop from there before we get that trigger back towards the upside. Next thing looking at is APOP. So overall, this has the buying once again to be able to break past this double top that we have here. And once again, we know that there's going to be selling. We know we have a print line here, 41,000 shares. And just, when we were talking about AMC, 41,000 shares wouldn't really be that much, but it is a lot, especially on a cheaper stock like this that typically doesn't give a lot of bigger prints. So that 41 is going to mean a whole lot. And we could see, just that little pullback that came in, and it really is respecting it on the second time that coming back up above. But what we're looking for once again is just that new buying. So this nice little position right here, it's not going to do it. We need to see something that really shows us, first of all, either a huge amount that's going to come in, which unfortunately is going to tell us that it's going to be a little bit longer term, or a bunch of bursts like this, which we're starting to get. We just want to continue to see that new selling in shorter term type bursts to tell us that we're going to be able to not only, be able to get back towards this double top, but be able to break it. And it's not quite there yet, but we're starting to see those bursts come in as we're coming back towards that upside. We did have prints at 5. That 5 obviously is one huge psychological level. It's going to be very hard for it to be able to hold. So as we continuously pull back from that 5, when we get those aspirants, we want to continue to see that new buying coming in. And so far so good, but just make sure in order for us to really be able to get past that double top up here and basically that resistance point up there, we're going to need to see a bunch more that's coming in, and we just quite haven't seen that yet. But as long as we continue to see that new buying, that's really what the name of the game is going to be within it. MYOK, now this is normally would be a sideless stock, but I'm not going to put it there because of the fact if we look at the amount of selling that we've seen coming into it. So yes, 107, obviously we're way above that already, but if you look at the 115, 114, 113, we're just continuously seeing people bailing out within this position. And I understand that because it went from 60 up to, pretty much 120. So we need to see new buying, but we're not getting that whatsoever, especially within the bigger prints coming in. And yes, I do understand that the orders are very thin, but you can see the print personality. It does not have a hard time being able to print at its major levels. So almost everything we've seen so far is that selling. So I wouldn't be surprised. What I'm going to be looking for once the market opens is for a nice pop to come into this, but then a real hard trigger to end up breaking back down. And, once again, the range is just going to be absolutely huge. We can see on average it trades $3.49, but when you have a stock that goes from 60 to 120, basically up 100%, it's telling us that these bigger prints are going to make a huge deal. And without getting that new buying coming into it, we're going to see this 110 break down really, really quickly. Just remember, this is going to be, even though it's going to be an easier read compared to the other stocks that we have, just because of the fact that the orders are so thin, we're not going to see a ton of prints that are coming into them. Keep in mind that you have to be right. When I say you have to be right, there's going to be such a big range that if you're off, there's no way that you're going to be able to cut this loss at 20 cents. Okay, so you just have to understand that because it's going to be trading in $2.50 and $5. So make sure that you're taking that into account as you're, when you're going into your entries and you're looking at your prints that come into it, because pullbacks are going to be huge, pull-ups are going to be huge, and then as well as the actual move itself. But based off the amount of the move that it's actually had, we should see a lot more of an exception come into this than basically following the rules. So overall, we can see that selling is just, it's huge. It's overwhelming compared to what we've had so far. So if we don't see some really big buying coming in to tell us that we're going to be able to break past this 120, we're going to see that fake move that comes back towards the upside once the market opens, and then we're going to see a real hammer down, real big trigger that comes in and gives us just, once again, a gigantic move within it. And then the only other thing that I really have that I'm that interested in, I'm going to put COTY on our side list. Now, yes, it's all over the place, but 649,000 shares. On average, it doesn't trade too bad. I mean, 60 cents, so we should expect a lot more coming into it than that. You can see it also is shortable. But overall, I haven't got the show of hand that I've liked yet. I mean, this 6 you can see right here, it's just for a cheaper stock. It's not enough for me to go into. Remember, if we're looking for 50 cents on a cheap stock like this, what we need to see is the buying to be able to get to 7. And I don't see it anywhere coming in yet. So yes, we do have some decent ass prints at 6. A trigger towards the upside definitely would take, but that trigger is not going to have the full percentage. We're not going to have a full 10% coming into it because that's just not enough buying up at the highs for us to really even pay that much attention to. So we're going to need to see a lot more. Otherwise, we're going to end up seeing this come right back down to their print lines here at that 525 level. So overall, not really that bad of a pre-market whatsoever. We have all the things that we were paying attention to, for the past months. We have our airlines, we have our cruise lines. Another thing I definitely would pay attention to is just, Lyft and Uber coming into there. But overall, I'm definitely going to be looking for the Cliff Notes. So I'm going to be looking for Cliff Notes first and then going on from there. Not looking at the tape, but CPE, let's take a look. Yeah, no. So see, the thing about this is that in the morning, coming straight into the morning with these cheaper stocks, if it's going to make a really big move, it's going to get halted almost immediately. And you always want to think about that. So they're going to have to slowly be able to move it coming in. So it's not something that you would ever look, at for the first trade that you're coming into your morning. It's something that, you would try to fit into your game plan because there's going to be things with just such better ranges coming in. And based off of the way that it's looking right now, it looks like almost guaranteed we're going to see it go into a quant once the market does open. So there's some decent buying, you could put it on your list, but definitely not going to be for me. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else? All right, so that looks like it. Let's make sure that we're doing everything that we went over last week. Let's make sure that we're paying attention to the habits that we have to create in order to really get our trading where it needs to be as quick as possible. And let's not forget our game plan, because sometimes we forget that. Let's make sure that we're looking for something that's going to get away from our entry as quickly and as far as possible. All right, so from there, guys, I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.